Hello, everyone, and welcome again to Respect the Line. We got host Matthew Taylor and yours truly, Danny Catullo. And now we're moving on to a much more favorable topic for me. We're no longer going to be talking about top 10 lead rollers, top 10 second rollers. Yeah, now you're gonna talk about the real playmakers in bocce, not just like rolling out the Paulino and following it.
Bunch of prima donnas, dude. You guys are shooters. You're prima donnas.
Suitors, suit, Matthew.
You guys want all the glory. Shooters want all the glory. It's a joke.
Yeah.
Anyway,
listen, you can win as many ships as you want, but guess who gets the clicks?
Yeah.
The shooters, baby.
Yeah.
The shooters. So, just for those that missed the last episode, your top 10 lists have been players that you've seen play. So these are players that you've been at a tournament with, or have played with, or played against, or maybe have watched them on TV, maybe live stream, I guess. But for the most part, these are players that you know. A lot of these are players that you see in our circuit, which runs anywhere from Cleveland to Rome to Detroit, Chicago, everywhere. Like we play everywhere. We play in all the big tournaments, and you believe that also these shooters and rollers have to be able to play on both. So dirt, hard, true, synthetic, long court, short courts, no excuses. Be able to ball out and play. And I've noticed that a lot of them have been winners. So without further ado, let's go to position number 3, second shooting. Who you got?
Oh, I kind of want to go into the first shooter. We're going to go first shooter. We went first roller last time.
Let's just do whatever you want. We always go to whatever the pointer wants. Okay, if you want to go to the right, doesn't matter if we want to go to the left. Yeah, sure.
That's right. I'll take the lead
Roll
here.
The Paulino, go wherever you want. Sure.
It's my list. I do what I want. All right. So first shooters. This also isn't going to be a surprise. Anthony Capogreco. Okay.
He's okay.
I played in. We got 7 or 8 second places. He might have missed 3 balls in all those games combined. I mean, he went on a streak where he didn't miss any in Rome in 2 championship games. He didn't miss any in Wycliffe. I mean, dude's an animal. He's a demon. He shoots. That's his job. He's the best at it. Try to argue that with me. Number 2, I have Dennis Stranad. I saw those guys play a lot of bocce this year. Dennis shot more balls than any human being the entire year. Maybe outside of Jose because he practices like he's a professional. Also, just real quick, Jose does not get to be on this list. We all know he's the best player in the country. It's just dumb. If I did a list, he'd be the best first roller, best lead shooter, best second shooter, best second roller. It doesn't matter. He's the best player in the country. Jose is not on these lists. We're not talking about him. It's dumb.
Different planet. So Capogreco from Youngstown.
Yep.
Dennis from Cleveland. So just like your second rollers, just to remind everybody, you started off with a very Ohio-centric start. So I wanted these PA people are going to like you. Keep going.
Third might be a surprise for some. But this is who I'm taking third, based on how this last year went. You probably can guess. It's going to be Doug Carter. Okay? Doug Carter won Rome. Doug Carter won Wycliffe. He was the lead shooter in both. And I can promise you, since I played in both of those championships, he might have missed 1 ball. Okay? So just from a clutch perspective, a guy that can shoot between 80 and 90%, I'm taking Doug Carter. It's just what it is. Also a Cleveland.
Can't argue. I'm not here to argue this one.
Yeah, Cleveland guy. Next, Frank DeCillo. Now, I got to tell you, the last couple tournaments I've seen him play, he missed a lot more than he normally does. I don't know if it's because he's having some problems with his eye, whatever. But the first half of the year, before his eye really started giving him some problems, he won like 5 tournaments, right? I mean, he was hitting everything. I did see him struggle a little bit on synthetic, especially out in Detroit. 1, maybe because the courts were really long. 2, he's got a little hook. Frank, if you ever notice when he shoots, he's got a little hook. Those balls were not hooking when they landed on synthetics, man. And the courts are so long, it's hard for him to get that going. But
some of these courts are just different for shooters. But
yes,
I would say Frank D last year and before, I might have had him over Doug, but I can't argue with Doug being over Frank this year.
Yeah.
But all four of these guys just like strike fear.
Can you argue Doug? Can you argue Doug over Dennis or Cap? Can you make a case?
Yeah, I could argue Doug over Dennis. He's had a better year. Winning is more important. He's won more big
Think
tournaments.
So?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's won more big tournaments this year.
Yeah,
sure.
who had a better team on paper, Dennis or Doug? And I would say Doug. Like one of the best. Doug was one of the best players on a team that probably is, I don't know. I mean,
yeah, then you're putting him over Anthony Capogreco too. I mean, that's if you're going by that logic, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, sure, it's just the gray line.
Yeah, exactly. So, like again, this also comes down to preference. I'm trying to be very, very objective, not subjective. Doug deserves to be in the top 3, in my opinion, this year for sure. But I am picking Anthony Capogreco and Dennis Stranad over him. I just am. Doug, nothing wrong with being 3rd. Frank, nothing wrong with being 4th.
No one's going to cry over being top 4. Keep going.
Right. Number 5, this probably isn't a surprise, Marco Orlando. He's a guy that can eat. I mean, he can honestly go in any spot in the top 5. He's another guy that doesn't play a lot. So, you only get to see him sparingly. But when you do, he's also another guy, along with the other 4, they can stick the ball, like literally replace colors. Like this is a lot of what I did on this list revolved around that as well. And he's one of the best at it, especially on synthetic.
First of all, another guy from Cleveland. So we've had top 5 are all in Ohio. Marco Orlando Jr., not senior, is in your top 5 shooters.
Correct.
And how big is that to be able to replace a ball? It's like the craziest thing. It's like it adds such an element that if you have a shooter that can't replace the ball, that only shoots underhanded, and not be able to shoot this way, I think that you put yourself in a lot of problems because you could be able to change the frame this way.
I agree.
All right, so Ohio's better at shooting than PA. Keep going.
Number 6, Joe Palumbo. Okay, I put Joe as a lead hitter. He was lead shooting on a lot of the teams he played on this year, and he won a lot. He won Molisani. He won a lot of tournaments this year, and it's hard to argue him. From a pure shooting standpoint, he's a lead shooter. I'm taking Joe.
You know what's crazy about this top 6 is maybe other than Anthony. I'm going to say other than Anthony is from 2 to 5, those guys, Joe Palumbo can get hotter than those guys.
Yes.
I've seen Joe Palumbo get on freaking fire, and it just pumps up the entire team, the crowd, everything. And you could just
puts his arms like this, shows the nice muscle with the nice shaved head.
Hulk Hogan's here, deal with it.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan's here. Yeah.
It just changes. It changes not only the perception of his own team, but you could just tell it affects the other team too. But I mean, I see why you have him at 6. I've also seen him go cold. I've also seen Joe become mortal. Whereas I see a consistency, and I think Joe would say this, and I've talked to Joe about this. I see a consistency from 2 to 5 that I just don't see in Joe. So right now, between the 6 players you said, I'm feeling good about.
I want to add this too. Like, listen, outside of Capogreco, Joe Palumbo gets it in. He's got the Modelo's in hand nonstop. He gets drunk, and he still plays good. I mean, you get something said for your state of mind being off kilter, and he still plays good.
Oh, listen, I love this guy because he's a stud. Keep going. What's 7? We only have Ohio people.
7. Now here comes a PA guy.
Oh, finally,
Lou Nacera. Now, from a pure shooting perspective, Lou Nacera should probably be in the top 3 or 4. I mean, the guy shoots an 85, 90% clip. He practices every day. He's a psycho when it comes to that. Where I took Lou down a couple notches is he kind of went on hiatus in July, and we didn't really see him again till Wycliffe. He played with Mike Sapula and Mike Nardone in that tournament, but we haven't really seen him much over the last year. If he would have played the year and he would have went to Rome and he'd have played in all these tournaments, we're talking about Lou being in the top 3. Okay, maybe even 1. He could fight for the number 1 spot if he really wanted to. That's what he does. He shoots balls and he cares almost more than anybody. So he's definitely going to make it, even though he hasn't played a lot the last 3 months.
He's the type of person too that just picks up the whole team. Is ready to we're going into battle and you got me with you. Right. But unlike the the top 6, Lou can also be tough on his team too, and publicly tough on his team, and we've heard that as well. But from a pure,
in Lou's defense, like he does put work in this game. Like he wants to be good, he wants to be great, he wants to win. So like if he feel sometimes his emotions might get the best of him, but it's coming from a place of, man, I'm working hard to try to win, and we're just not getting it done. With that being said, Lou could probably admit to this too. Like there's times like your fire and your energy sometimes gets the best of you, and that happens with all of us. So it is what it is. But we love.
He also wears some of the best outfits in Bocce. It's like some
of
the best
no
clothes.
question, no
like,
question.
My God, like bring him up and
right.
I love Lou. Keep going.
All right, so next one is we're gonna get some New York love now. I'm going with Paul Lewis. I believe it's the third, right? Not junior.
Yeah, although Paul Lewis PLJ is pretty amazing too. So keep going.
Yes. We're gonna go Paul Lewis. I got to give him love.
Great bowler, by the way. Paul Lewis III. Fantastic
I've heard
bowler.
that. Bowler.
Would play more if he didn't if he didn't do all these national tournaments for bowling. He's played out in Reno at South Point and around everywhere too. Fantastic bowler.
That doesn't shock me. He's also a major winner, 2-time major winner. He got to be on this list. Again, he doesn't travel that much, but he travels enough. And those guys are usually
you never see the pressure get that guy. By the way,
no,
that dude is cool.
That's not true. I've seen him get angry. I've seen him get frustrated, and it affects his game. Yes, and we're gonna have those guys on the pod here tomorrow.
Interesting.
We're gonna have a conversation about that, buddy.
I want to be bringing this up. I don't know at this moment. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
I pride myself in learning about these little moments, and I don't know it, so I'm excited.
Right. And he shoots the ball harder than anybody.
He shoots
when he hits a ball square, you can hear it across the whatever area they're playing in. It's unbelievable. Next, I have, again, this is where I kind of struggled a little bit because these next two gentlemen are phenomenal lead shooters. They just don't play a lot. Carl Greenway, Juan Molisani this year, had to give him a nod. Doesn't play a lot, so it's kind of hard.
Carl. I have him as a second shooter, but I love Carl. I probably won't comment on this list because I put him as second shooter. He's second shot with Joe.
Why would you put him in second shooter? Why would you put him in second shooter?
Because he's a freaking amazing roller, and every major win, you may not know this, he was a second shooter.
Very true, but generally speaking, that's just happened to be because of the circumstance they were in. Carl was actually supposed to play the Fall Classic with us due to some work issues. He wasn't able to do it. He was going to be lead shooting over Anthony. So I'm putting him in lead shooting.
Anthony, I don't say he prefers. Anthony does enjoy being the ball's back, like being a second shooter. So
yeah, you know what? I don't care what Anthony wants. I don't care what Anthony wants. Anthony does what I tell him to do. He's going to lead shoot. That's his role in the team. He's going to do what I tell him. All right, and then finally, number 10, got to put him in here, Dante Chiavetti. This is a guy that could easily be number 1. He has that kind of talent. Again, though, he doesn't play during the summer. So we see him during the winter months, the fall months. That's it.
So
spring,
I think that's
going
to be a pass, though, because he used to run and own, still owns Molisani concessions. But now that he has Lorenzino's, you would assume once we get this bar and food underway at this place, we're not just drinking the tap water, that we're going to get Dante all summer. And I think it's going to be pretty scary playing in that place every day.
I agree. I agree.
Showed in this year's results.
But he has won 3 tournaments this year. And all of them were at, Lorenzino's. But he's won this year. He's a phenomenal player. We all know it. He can be anywhere in this top 10. But I'm going to put him at 10 because he doesn't play enough.
Fair enough.
Now, this honorable mention is huge. Okay? It's huge. And it's huge because I feel like any one of these guys could jump into the top 10 for sure. I'm going to start off with the first one, who I really.
Wait, do you think they could jump in the top 10 like next year, or do you think like they can get hot and they could be like top 10 that day? Like, what are you talking about?
I would say some of these guys can jump in the top 10 like tomorrow, based on a performance in a tournament. But generally speaking, yes, any of these guys could be in that top 10. I think. The first one I'm going to mention is Danny Pisano, another Koppel dude. Danny would probably tell you, he would agree that, he does play. Like he played a decent amount of tournaments this year. So it's not like he didn't play enough tournaments, but you can also tell sometimes it takes him a little bit of time to get going. I played with Danny, and he didn't play for like 2 months, and we played in the high stakes last year at Jerry's house. He's never played there before. He didn't play for a while. He came out there. We got second. He balled out. He probably shot 93%. I mean, when he gets going,
that was the Michael Paisano deep roll that he got you guys in the championship game, right? That was the tournament.
No, it was me, Stewie, Russ Maraglio, and Danny Pisano.
And Danny Pisano. Okay, so Michael played with Jimmy.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah.
I remember watching
Danny was with us at the high stakes at Jerry's house last year.
You guys we just need more streaming. We need to be able to see all these games. There's just too many good games.
Yeah. Danny lights out.
So Danny Paisano plays. You said he plays a fair amount of tournaments, but not a lot. And just for people that don't live in our area, what that means is Danny might have played a dozen tournaments, but Taylor and I played 30. So
it's like Danny didn't go to Rome. He didn't go to Molisani. He didn't go to JAC. Like a lot of the big tournaments, he's just not able to. Like, I don't blame him. He'd rather be in Punta Cana than go to Rome. I mean, it's just what it is, right? Like, he's family vacation, Punta Cana. He's going to go there. Like, I get it.
Yeah, our family's not inviting us to Punta Cana. Okay, keep it going.
Danny's a pure dog, though. He's a game record. He's won MVR 3 times. Like, he's a major winner. You got to give him his love. And he can be in there at any time. Next, I have Braden Micheletti.
Oh, yeah.
From a pure shooting standpoint, he's up there. He can easily be in his top 10. No question about it.
So this is you now have you put PJ, you put Dante, you put Braden. I mean, what a family! So it's like Meloragnos and Micheletti's. Like,
right.
This is like the dog.
They're good bocce families, dude. Yeah, they play good bocce. It's not even a question.
Do you think he hits harder than Paul Lewis III?
It's close, but I think Paul gets him. I think Paul
PL3 ever broken a window at MVR? Because Braden hits.
No, but if he probably could. He probably could. Another one, Dan Trepepi. Okay, Dan Trepepi, he's up there again. Didn't really see him that much this year. I think I might have asked him about that, but he said, "No, I've been around." I'm like, I haven't really seen you much. He's another pure lead shooter. If you're looking for a lead shooter and you want to play a tournament, he's somebody you're going to ask. It is what it is. Like, he's a lead shooter.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yep. Again, I got to mention him only because, because he's a pure lead shooter. Again, if you need a shooter for a big tournament, you can't go wrong with him. Is Nick Otoviani, PA Koppel guy. But he coaches football, so once that time of year comes around, he's done. He can't play. So you got to catch him earlier in the summer.
He actually Jordan did pretty well. He only was Nico. Before we get to Jordan, Nico was only a second shooter once in his life. He told me, and that was with Tony D'Onofrio. He didn't do it in PA, and he balled out that tournament too as a second shooter.
Yeah,
a lot at VFW.
Yep.
Right, keep going. Jordan.
Jordan Hassan. Right? That's how I say his last name.
Yep.
Yeah,
also
Jordan
from Newcastle, where Braden's from.
Newcastle.
Nicky O is from Koppel. Yep.
Yeah, Jordan's a beast, dude. Jordan is a legit beast. He can shoot. He's an 80% shooter for sure. He can roll too. He's kind of he's one of the best players, and he plays on State Farm with Gary Zarilla, Eddie Isabella, and who's their fourth sometimes.
Gary. You said Gary Zarilla.
Gary Zarilla, yes. Eddie Isabella, and there's someone else I'm missing.
Steve, I believe, is his name.
Steve is just sometimes he plays with Stafora, right?
Yep.
Those guys, yeah. Good team. They're all there. Yep. Listen, that's a team too. They can beat anybody at any given time. But Jordan's the catalyst. He shoots really well. So we got to mention him. And then 2 more guys. Vern Kurtz. I think you look at Vern, he probably hasn't had the year, I said this a few times about some of these guys.
Sure.
Vern, probably honest, he hasn't had the greatest year. But Vern's still a winner. He's won so many tournaments. He's also another guy that can get hot. I used to think he was a robot when he was shooting. He never missed. He still has that talent. He does. So he's got to be mentioned. At any point, if he got hot for a 2 or 3 month stretch, he's in the top 10 for sure of lead shooters. And And then the other one, the last one, DCAT. It's you, buddy. It's you. Listen,
you about this?
I'm 100% sure. I mean, you haven't missed the ball against BSB all year. You played us 7 times. I still think we were looking for some of your misses. We haven't found them yet. I mean, you shoot the ball. You can stick. You shoot soft enough for your ball sticks in any court. You know, I think you're rolling, which I guess doesn't matter. We haven't mentioned it. I think when you look at the top 10 shooters, all of them can roll really, really well. That's one of the things I also looked at. There's a lot to be desired with your rolling. You come from a pure shooting standpoint, the way you call a game, you have a chance to be in the top 10, in my opinion.
Appreciate that.
Definitely. Don't thank me. It's just what it is. If I told you suck, I would tell you suck. Yeah.
I know that's the case.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, but I really do like playing against you. So
yeah,
just really, really enjoy playing against you guys. Love playing the game and been working my butt off trying to get better at rolling as well, which I know that needs to keep getting better and better. I got a couple people that I think you missed. So Matt Lippa from Canada. If you haven't seen him play, you need to. Guy's a stud. Played fantastic in the 2 manageries. Just hits, replaces balls, does it on synthetic too. Did it at St. Anthony's. Like, he's just a great player and can be able to stick anywhere. So if you haven't seen him shoot, he's won the Precision Shooting Championship in Canada, and he's gonna be representing North America and Turkey.
Did he play Rome? Did he play MVR?
He played Rome, and they went really far, extremely far. And then he played, what was the other one you're asking? MVR?
Yeah.
I don't think he played MVR. But
okay.
Rome, they went extremely far. I don't think that you faced them along your way, obviously, because you would have remembered it. But they went extremely far and played great. Leo from Chicago. Leo's a fantastic shooter. Pure lead shooter, doesn't play that much in tournaments that we see. I don't think he plays as much just in general than he used to, but cat's a dog.
He hasn't played dirt. He hasn't played dirt. He's another guy. It's hard for me to – I think he's a great player. Synthetics for sure. I played a lot against him, so I know. But he don't play dirt, so.
2 players from the West Coast that I've played against that I know are studs, and if you saw them every day, I think that you would put them in there, are Ben Campbell and Tony from Oregon. Just Ben Campbell from California. You saw him. Ben came out to
for the singles. That's all. I watched them a little bit. Yeah.
Yep. And both of them are just fantastic shooters. They win tournaments out there, and if they played in the same circuit that we did, you would see them just winning a lot of tournaments as lead shooters. They're fantastic. Okay. They're great.
Okay.
But I really like the list. If there was somebody that I think you didn't put in your top 10, I'm going to say no. I love your top 10. I think it's phenomenal.
You gone soft, dude. You gone soft. I was expecting blood. That's just how good of a job I did. I know I got an eye for the game.
The number one reason why I know your top 10 was right is because you have 8 players from Ohio, and we just are better shooters than those that are in Pennsylvania. So I want to appreciate you telling the world and telling the state of Pennsylvania.
You know, Lou DeSera is going to watch this, dude, and he's going to make it his mission to come back and be better than everybody. See, there you go with your bullshit.
I know.
Also, another guy I just want to give a little shout out to, Jonathan Vivo. He's a pure lead shooter. He's been working really hard at his game. I think at some point, if he continues it, he can climb up.
I agree. Good pick.
All right.
There's more, I'm sure, but fuck it. We didn't remember.
That's it. Yeah, that's right.
Top 2. Let's go. Let's go. Second shooter. Come on.
Second shooter. All right. This one was also really tough. I'm going with Croce. I mean, seven-time major winner. He's only won a big tournament 7 times. That's it. Okay. 7, 8 times. No, I mean, he won Molisani.
Yeah, I know. It's actually fucking crazy. I have 0 tournament wins.
He had won it 3 times in a row at one point, right?
Yeah, he's a stud.
What?
Yeah, he's a
right.
stud.
So this is kind of how I looked at this particular list. If I'm playing against you, who don't I want to see with the ball back, right? Who don't I want to see in the ball back with as a second roller? Croce's one. He's one. I've seen him do a lot of sick shit. He's gonna be up there. He's gonna be my number one second shooter. Next is gonna be Joe Cesar. Now, I know he led shot a lot this year with CPF. I don't think that's his natural position. I think the 2-shoot spot is his spot.
Concur.
And I'm putting Joe Cesar too.
Also from Cleveland. We're just having it's Ohio just for shooting, just to let everyone remind themselves.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Yep.
So I got to do it. Didn't want to, but I have to. Nico Fox. Nico Fox, a 17-year-old kid from Rome, New York. He's my third. I'm picking him third.
I'm going to be getting texts from Lou regarding his position and talking about Ohio Bocce being better at hitting. You putting Nico Fox here is pretty interesting for me because I think you left out one of your buddies too that might be texting you. So keep it going. I want to hear who's next. Who's
that? I wonder who we're talking about here. No, okay, Nico Fox has been a consistent dude. He shoots a lot. He can roll. Like he's a great player.
Nico's a stud. I love him at 3. Who do you have 4?
Yes, 4. We got Ronnie Cap. Dog. Here's the thing too. Here's the thing I want to say too about this list. Some of these guys could easily be in the top 10 lead shooters. You could say Ronnie Cap is a top 5, 6, 7 lead shooter as well, but I kind of think his position is shoot too. I like him with the ball back. Dangerous. So we're going to go with Ronnie Cap at number 4. Number 5. Pino Rosati. Is it Rosati? Rosati? How do I say his last name?
Yep.
Rosati.
Now we're going with Pino. Cleveland. Yep.
Yeah. From Cleveland, Ohio. Listen, he led roll. He led roll, and he was lead roller at Wycliffe. They won Wycliffe, lead rolling. But generally when I see him, he's one of those dudes I hate when he has the last ball. That man makes something happen, whether he shoots the ball and misses by 3 feet, they still score. I don't know how he does it, but he's dangerous with the last ball.
Yeah, he's
second shooter.
Magic.
Yeah, I'm going Pino. So that's what, top 5, right?
Yep.
Robert Stewart, number 6. My buddy Stewie.
That's the guy that I think is going to be texting you.
Well, listen, I got to be honest. He's lucky. He's lucky he made this list. The way he shot this year, I mean, he literally shot probably, and I'm being generous, I'll give him 60% this year, okay? 60%.
Then how do you have him in the top 10 if he shot 60%?
I'm going to explain to you. Because he's the best roller. He's the best roller out of all these second shooters. He's the best roller. I guess you can argue Pino a little bit. Stewie could easily be a second roller or a lead roller. Lead roller, I don't know. I mean, maybe. But he's the best roller out of this group, in my opinion. So I'm taking Stewie.
Then why are you out there looking for rollers? Maybe BSB should be out there looking for hitters. That's all I'm saying.
We're considering both, buddy. Yeah, I mean, but no, Stewie just had a little bit of a rough spell. Middle of the summer. Rome, he shot great. Rome, he was like 90% till we got to the championship. But outside of that, like, Stewie's a stud. He has a ball back. He can make shit happen. He's done it for years. He's always going to do it. He's a beast with the ball back. And on top of it, the other thing I look for in second shooters, I think Croce and Cesar are the absolute best at the back wall. Like shooting back wall when it's live. Stewie's right in that conversation with best back wall shooters. Like, it's not close.
First of all, not only shooting back wall, but rolling to the back wall on synthetic. Croce,
correct.
Joey C, Stewie.
Yes,
I think that
I agree.
Stewie also adds an element to the game where he can get underneath the other team's skin. And
yes,
it helps create an element of winning, because the other team is also fighting against the Stewie Deweys, the Pulitz,
correct.
The him acting like he is.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, he should have took I offered a White Claw in that championship to Stewie so that he could be himself. He declined it.
Yeah.
He politely declined it, and he will be regretting that moment for most of his
life. Yeah,
I
know. He probably will be.
Should have took that White Claw from me.
Whatever. He's going to come back ready to go. All right, you ready? Number 7, I have Gianni Calazzi, I believe it's called. Calazzi. I'm a big Gianni fan as far as his game goes. Also, I think he's one of the top 5 back wall players in the game. He's phenomenal at it, and he's played great all year. He just won MVR. He won 3 or 4 other tournaments this year. He's on fire. Been playing great. He's number 7. Number 8, I'm going with Mike Pisano. Plays with IMBS. Sean
MHP.
No. MHP. Dude's a dog. He's probably one of the most fearless players. Yeah. He's probably one of the most fearless players. And he also, I've never met a man that's been able to play bocce and lift, do an exercise while playing the game. He's done probably 800 push-ups this year, which ironically enough, towards the end of the year, he had to change it up because like his arms were getting too big. He's getting too strong. We don't want to see him hurt no one, so he had to switch up his role, his rolling stance a little bit.
Michael and I both go to the ground, and mine's like a flop, like a belly flop. And then, like, I've developed muscles that you probably shouldn't have, but just having to pick myself up, my 200-pound frame. Like, this dude's going down and doing a army push-up and coming back up.
Yes.
He's like good form.
Unbelievable.
With it.
Yeah, he like way holds different it than too. Mine, which is he'll hold it. He'll hold it. Yeah, he's great. But outside of that, he's really developed
I only hold
his game.
mine. I only hold mine because I can't get up. There's no reason why I'm holding mine. Yeah.
But he's been playing great. He's a beast. He's a beast. Like he just is.
I have 5 players right now, by the way, that I have like in my head top 10 right now that you haven't named. So I'm just excited for you to keep going. This is great.
Yeah. So what are we at? We at 8 right now?
You're going into 9. You're going into 9, yeah.
9. Gotta do it. I'm not the biggest fan of him ever since he was rooting against my man Stewie and then Mike Nardone out at the 2-man in Rome. Ron Dog, Koppel guy, Koppel vet, was literally cheering for Nico and Mark Zuckerberg in that championship game against Stewie and Mike Nardone. Really made me mad. Outside of that, dude's won Wycliffe. He ran deep in Rome. Kid's a great player. It doesn't matter if you like him or hate him, think he's awkward or not. He can play bocce. So he's in the top 10.
So first of all, that was Mark Zuckerberg was Billy Barnett's son. Fantastic job there by the younger Barnett.
So he looks just like him. He literally looks just like him.
But Ron Dog, by the way, like probably has 30 more victories than everyone else on this list, just because he plays the most tournaments. Like he plays the most, but the dude freaking wins, man. The dude wins. And
Let me ask you a question, Dan.
Ron Dog in love, by the way, greater than Ron Dog single. Like Ron Dog in love is a stud. Like he just wins.
Listen, is there any dude on that list you would put Ron Dog ahead of? I want to hear it.
I would play with the top 8 before Ron Dog.
Okay. Yeah. So I put him right where he's supposed to be, right?
I think he's won more than Michael Paisano. I just would rather have Mike Paisano on my team as a ball back, just like push-ups. But like I also really enjoy Michael Paisano and the conversations about bocce. Gianni's a stud. Right. Stewie's in the wrong position, but he's a stud. In the top 4, not the top 4.
Where do you think Stewie's supposed to be? Where do you think Stewie's supposed to be?
Stewie's the second roller. You guys have been pretending
he's a shooter not. For talking about
year. Listen,
that's one of the dumbest takes. You might get fired for that. You might just get fired for that.
Okay, here's why
he's been a second shooter the entire time we've played. He leads shoots when we're playing.
I know. It's worked out extremely
well.
Not
a second roller. Listen, what are you talking about?
It's worked out extremely well for you, okay? And I think that's really helped your winning percentage. But he's not helping you win championships as a second shooter. He's just not.
Okay.
I think that Stewie. I think that Stewie was a phenomenal shooter. I think that he probably has this elbow issue that he had when he played baseball, and maybe it's affecting him now. I think Stewie is actually a phenomenal roller. I think when he goes to 2-man and he plays with Ron Dog and he plays with Nardone, he basically dumps you and goes to these other cities to go play. He rolls, and he is like literally one of the best rollers that we have out there playing, and wins a ton of games.
He don't win when he does it. He don't win when he does it. He's won 2-mans with me because I roll and he shoots. Stewie, I hope you're listening to this, bro. This is blasphemy. It's crazy. Get on the treadmill, start losing weight, because that's probably some of the reason why Stewie He's starting to get that little belly. Whatever weight I lost, he gained. He's getting there, and he wears double XL shorts. You've seen his clothing. He's one of the worst dressers in Bocce. It's not close,
Lou,
but like
it goes. Lou is like the top, and Stewie is like whatever down below is.
No,
when it comes to dressing.
right. Yeah.
He only dressed great one time, and that's where the first time I ever saw Stewie was my first one of my first tournaments ever was the St. Anthony's, and Stewie came dressed in a Johnny Manziel jersey and posted on Facebook that he doesn't like playing 8 a.m. Bocce. And I was like, what am I getting? What is these tournaments? What am I getting into? Like characters like this dude.
Right.
All right, keep it going. Who's 10?
All right. So number 10, another one I struggled with. I'm going Bruno Iannetta. I'm going Bruno. Bruno's in my top 10. Listen, we played against him in MVR. They beat us Saturday for our first loss. And I gotta say something. I gotta say this. Okay. We did a topic the other day, right, about shit talking. Okay.
Oh, Bruno.
And I have to tell you, these older gentlemen talk respect and this and that. Let me tell you something, dude. Bruno got the shit talking game. The stuff he was saying to me in that game, obviously it wasn't fun. We had a good time. I like Bruno. Bruno likes me. We have a good relationship. He was running his
podcast. How old's Bruno? 70s?
He's got to be up there, yeah.
Like this,
and he didn't miss a ball. He didn't miss a ball. Listen,
he's just the GOAT.
He's the GOAT. He didn't miss a ball. He still got it. And
you can't be worried about him listening to this podcast. Maybe like if his granddaughter gives it to him. I don't know.
No, he's not going to listen to the podcast. But like what I'm saying is, the older generation, the Pete's and all them, they don't do the shit talking. Bruno's like one of the GOATs at it, right?
Yeah.
He's literally like one of the GOATs at it. Like
it's funny. He's like super nice. Like in like the like Fatal 4. Like they were doing the game and they were talking about like, oh, there's Bruno. He's the nicest guy. I think Lee was. He's the nicest guy ever. Yeah, to you. To me.
To you, yeah, right. He wants to rip your throat out too. Don't get it twisted, dude. Bruno.
I'm playing in Farrell, PA. Okay, and I'm playing against Braden and Rock Delicio and Bruno, and it doesn't really matter who the fourth was because I hit a ball and was like doing my little thing where I like to scream after the ball, and Bruno hits the next one and he went yeah to me, like watch me do that, mother trucker, like
right. No, listen, Bruno's
Pennsylvania. He's like in his 70s. He was like, sit down, you idiot, and I was like, oh,
right,
my ass again.
Wow. Yeah,
Bruno, top 10.
He's great.
Still,
yes.
Bruno, top 10. Okay.
Top 10. I have two guys in the honorable mention. Actually, I'm sorry, not two guys. I have 6 guys in the honorable mention. Okay.
You're probably gonna hit everybody.
I told you the shooters really did. Number one, this isn't in any particular order. I just have them listed here. LaBarbera, I have him as.
Yep. Yeah, we can't deal with that right now. So Anthony LaBarbera from Chicago, Illinois, representing North America in the PRV in Turkey.
Yes, he is. Now again, another synthetic guy. But from my understanding, he grew up on dirt courts, playing on dirt courts. He did play Wycliffe. He's probably capable of it. I would have to see more to put him in that top 10. I'm sure if he did, he would easily be like in the top 3. I mean, LaBarbera's an animal. He's an absolute dog. On synthetics, who's better? Who's honestly, you could put him, and might as well just mention this guy's name now. When it comes to synthetic courts, outside of Jose, it's LaBarbera, Natali Scala. I mean, that's it. Again, Natali doesn't play a lot. So
he's from Rochester, and he's also like won Rome, right? 2 years in a row.
He's won Rome. He's won Rome several times.
That's not synthetic,
right?
It's not synthetic.
No, it's not for sure. But he doesn't play a lot. Like he doesn't. You don't see him a lot. He doesn't play a lot. Like he picks and chooses when he does. He plays the singles. He was the only guy. He scored 9 points against Jose. in the infamous like take the jacket off game, where he was up 9-1, 9-2. Jose ended up winning 12-9.
His brother jinxed him. He's like, he's doing the live stream, and I'm like, driving, and Diana and I are like, trying to get there to go watch this game.
Yeah.
And like I have to go see this. And Mario's filming, and he's like, my brother's up 9-0. He has never beaten Jose in 22 matchups. And they get there, and all of a sudden Jose is taking off the jacket, and it's like, time to get to work, buddy.
Yeah, right. So
shout out Pat Pessin, too, by the way. He's the only person. Pat Pessin is the only person I've ever seen beat Jose in a 1-on-1. The only one that I've ever seen. The only one that I've ever seen.
But I will say, has he beaten him in open where it's just game to 12? Has he done it, Pat?
I don't know if they've ever played. So why doesn't
PRV? I can see
the
how.
line?
PRV,
why doesn't respect the line? Yeah. Set that up as an exhibition match, and you and I can commentate. Love it. Done.
I love it. I love it.
Next.
So yeah, Natali. Listen, Natali is literally, and I have one more list that we're gonna do. Natali could easily be considered like one of the top 5 players like in the country. Okay,
yes.
I'm not. This is no disrespect to Natali whatsoever. Like period, top 5 players in the country. But for this ranking, he don't do it. So his dad is next. Felice.
I had him too as my you're taking all my players off my snubs.
No, I got the honorable mention. Listen, Felice. I think he had a few health issues, like some minor stuff, like with his back, maybe he's whatever. He didn't play in some tournaments. But he literally, if he did, he would be in this top 10. It's not even close. Like Felice is another one of them dudes. He just, he didn't play a lot this year. But he's definitely up there. Like you can put him anywhere. It's unbelievable. I'm gonna go with Tino Emmanuel, Eddie's son, right?
Oh yeah.
Plays on North Country Graphics. Another dude. Like again, kid's got game. He got game. I don't mean kid in a disrespectful manner.
Mm-hmm.
He's got game. He can play. Again, it's hard for me, though, to see where I would put him if he would be in my top 10. But he's up there.
Enough.
Could he get in the top 10? Absolutely, 100% he can. But, he got to be mentioned. And then I didn't really want to do this. I'm going to do it, even though I think that he can play bocce well. I just don't think he's a late game player at all whatsoever. And that's Frank Popio. Frank Popio got a lot of game. He's generally a 2-hitter. Popio is literally 1 in 15, and I'm not exaggerating, against me and Stewie the last 15 years. And he's had
Stewie
more than one.
It doesn't count.
Listen, whose problem is that? That's not my problem. That's not our problem. Why are you choking at the end of the game, Popio? You want hot topics, Danny? This is respect the line. I'm going to tell you right now, Popio, I hope you're listening. You choke, okay? You're a choker. That's what you do. Especially when you play BSB and some of these other big hitters, you choke. Okay? You choke. You miss. You do dumb stuff. You hit the wrong ball. You choke. You had opportunities to beat us several times, and you didn't do it. And I'm not going to call out any of the teammates' names that he's played with over the years, but I can remember specifically times at Jerry's, I'm not going to mention the teammates, that you could see it in their face. They knew they were screwed when he had the last ball to try to beat us. Couldn't do it. Couldn't figure it out. Popio, I love you. You're a great player. You choke. It is what it is.
But you have him in the honorable mention. You have him.
I have him in the honorable mention because he's got the talent. Yes, he has the talent.
Okay,
there's no doubt.
Here's what I'll say about Popio. So I agree with your top 10. No, I agree with your top 9. I wouldn't have Bruno at 10 right now. But I'm also most afraid of him of this whole list. I don't care what age he is. I would rather have Natali. So that's just personal preference. I think Natali can also play a lot of dirt courts, and if it was on synthetic, Anthony maybe won, like you said.
Right.
But I think that Anthony will continue to get better and better and better on dirt courts because that dude just like freaking wants it. Popio, I think Popio is a great back wall player. I think that Popio can be plugged into a bunch of places. One of the problems that I think that Popio has is that he always does want the last ball. And so on teams where he should be shooting first or rolling second, he will find a way to be able to have that last ball. and just the players that you just mentioned before them are all better with it. All right, so here's a couple of snubs that I have in shooters in general, whether you call them first or second, or maybe I just think that these are people that should be at least in the mention. This again, you did these, you put a list together. These are me, like, just off the top of my head. I'm sure we're forgetting them. Don't care. It's too bad. We're respecting the line. It's, if you're not in our forefront, do better in front of us too. Let us watch you.
Oh, I have it written down here real quick. I forgot. Bill Barnett. Bill Barnett is another.
No, that's my first one. No.
Well,
no,
I had it written down here. You could see on my chicken scratch. I had Bill Barnett written down.
You stole my shirt tonight. You stole my shirt. I had this on first. You stole my
Bill
shirt.
Barnett.
We just found out as we're going on the podcast.
You're definitely on the list. You're definitely on the list.
I thought for sure you'd be in a BSB shirt trying to promote your business. You're not. We're both in a Wycliffe shirt. Just frustrating. Where you barely beat me by like a half a point. And then Bill Barnett, though, is my top snub. And I have Bill Barnett above Frank. So Bill Barnett's a
Frank Popio? Frank Popio?
Yeah.
I would play with Bill Barnett if he had one arm over Popio. Yeah. That's my opinion on Popio. You take it for what you were. I'll take Bill Barnett with one arm.
You guys like want to trash him. Is not. These are some other players. Probably first hitters that I just was thinking about as we were talking second hitters, and I just want to mention their names. Mikey P. Paolo from Rome, fantastic hitter. Young kid from Rome that's getting better. Wears the mustache. Also has the record of calzones eaten at Wycliffe, little known fact. And then Chris Chemalinsky from Kentucky, who wins a lot and plays phenomenal and is a great shooter.
He deserves to be on the mention.
And like Chris may not be everyone's cup of tea, maybe because he comes in from Kentucky. I'm not sure. But I think Chris is a phenomenal player. And
I would agree with you on that. I would agree with you on that for sure.
All right, so I have one last one.
Oh, that's it. You're done. You're done with it. Okay. All right.
Was that? Yeah, this is my one last one. I mean, like, what more can I say? I mean, I could throw out a name and you could like it or not like it, whatever.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
There's one last one that you forgot, and that's Mike Lapsevich. And
I didn't forget him.
And if you can't tell me that Mike Lapsevich, you rather me than Mike Lapsevich? It's an interesting take. You'd rather Vern Kurtz right now than Mike Lapsevich right now?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would.
Yeah?
I would. And I love Mike.
Why?
I played with him. I think you're a better shooter than he is right now. Listen, Mike Lapovich, if it's a 3-game tournament, he's the GOAT. Sign him up right. I'll take him over Anthony and Croce. Whole tournament, dude, he wears down. He even told me it's harder for him to even get down anymore like he used to. Mike Lapsevich is pushing 70. It's not no. I'll take you all day long. You can go through the 3-day grind. Laps is struggling right now, man. You got all those. He's a slumlord too. You got all this stuff going on with his houses, man. Like, no, Mike's out. He's not on my list. You're out, Mike. You're out, Mike.
That's what they pay us for. All right, so
you're out, Mike. Love you to death. Don't be mad at me. I did mention Freddie and Bobby. Mike, you're out, dude. You're out. You're out.
All right. So listen, I think we.
Well, hold on, Danny. Hold on, Danny. I wanted to throw this out there too. I actually did a top 10 overall list. Okay.
All right. So listen, I want to first of all, we just did the rollers last episode. Just did the shooters this episode. I want to hear from the people. I want to hear, who did we miss? Okay. Should we be changing things? And I want to get from the people. You're done. You're locked in. I already got that permanent list. It's scarred. It's tattooed on the body right now. You already got your top 10. I want to hear from the people to see who their top 10s are. And I want to hear from you. I want to get your top 10 players, Taylor, so we could be able to mention them on Respect the Line, so we could be able to argue them. And then I also want to get from you your 10 players that if you got to pick to be teammates with, regardless of skill set, not just top 10 players, like top 10 teammates that you think that you would just, if you had to start a team, this would be my first pick. So BSB is done. You have to pick the first player. Who you going after? So I don't want to hear about your 3 teammates right now, or 2.5.
So one guy. I got to pick one guy. I got to pick one guy.
Pick one guy to be like,
that's easy. You got to come with harder questions than that. That's an easy answer.
I'm going to make you do 10 of them. So be ready.
Okay. I can do 10. I have 10. I'm ready to go.
Good. Well, get them ready. Get them ready for the crowd. We are signing off now. This is Respect the Line. We got Matthew Taylor. We got Danny Catullo. Let us know what you think. Were we right? Were we wrong? Put it in the comments. We'd appreciate the feedback. Thanks for watching. We're growing like a weed, whether you like us or not. Respect the line.
Later.